What is the worst secondhand embarrassment you've ever felt? Was at dinner party when my friend's mother-in-law asked another one of our friends when her baby was due. She wasn't pregnant. Anyway, MIL should have simply apologized, but instead doubles down with something to the effect of, "It sure looks like you're pregnant." Why? I wouldn't ask even if I saw a baby arm hanging out. Went to an Italian restaurant once with someone who was learning Italian and knew quite a bit. None of the staff were Italian. It was essentially just a pizzeria in a small town. She insisted on ordering for the whole table, in the language with the correct pronunciation, etc. Waitress was like 17 and didn't have a clue was happening, whilst we all just sat there. An ex tried to order sushi in Japanese once. The owners were Korean. Most of the staff had been here for a few generations now and primarily spoke English in any case. That time, my old roommate told a table full of his family that AIDS and cancer are the same thing, just after talking about how much he's been learning from his night classes. Those classes were being paid for by his parents, and spoiler alert, he wasn't attending any classes. They realized it by the time dinner was over. Please tell me he was taking pre-med classes. Was going down an escalator at the Mall of Georgia when the 90-something-year-old guy in front of me very suddenly shit his pants. We were about 500 feet from a bathroom and he was wearing shorts. I felt so bad for him. My dad gave him his hoodie to wrap around his waist. I was very proud he was my dad in that moment, and still am. Was going down an escalator at the Mall of Georgia when the 90-something-year-old guy in front of me very suddenly shit his pants. We were about 500 feet from a bathroom and he was wearing shorts. I felt so bad for him. My dad gave him his hoodie to wrap around his waist. I was very proud he was my dad in that moment, and still am. I was selling some kettlebells on Facebook Marketplace, and a woman, early 40s maybe, bought them. She came to pick them up, and as I handed them over to her, she obviously wasn't expecting them to be as heavy as they were. And as she suddenly strained to counter the weight, she ripped the most extreme of farts you have ever heard. It was gargantuan. I was shocked, but also proud. I'm usually pretty good at making light of any situation, but I found myself speechless for the first time in my life. If I could, I would have returned serve, but even on my best day, I don't believe I could create such a symphony. We both kind of stared into each other's eyes and she said, "Well," and turned around and walked off. Had a guy walk into class in college late. It was auditorium seating, and the only open spaces were on the 4th row in the middle. About 25 rows in total and about 50 seats per row. This guy walks in and sits down approximately 15 minds into lecture and opens his laptop, which as soon as the lights boot up starts blaring porn, and at the build-up to the big finale to boot, he couldn't log in fast enough or mute it since he wasn't logged in. So he slammed it shut, put it in his bag, and walked out with it still blaring at full volume. We heard it finally stop as he was about to leave the building. I would simply pass away on the spot. I think I just got third-hand embarrassment. Thanks for watching. Write your story in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you tomorrow.